It's just a game.
It's just a game.
In our ever-maturing society, video games have become a form of expression among youth today. And it's no secret that as our society becomes more liberal, we see an increase in the violent content of these games. Researchers have been debating the effect of video games since 1976, when the game Death Race was released. And ever since then, it boils down to a fight of the facts.
I do not believe that they contribute to youth violence today because, well, if the kids are going to be violent, they're going to be violent, not just because of video games.
I play Halo 3 a lot, and I'm a big fan of Commander-in-Chief, but I do think that if you indulge into video games too much, that it can affect you.
Video game critics say that violent video games desensitize gamers to real-life violence. Advocates would argue that violent video games reduce violence and pose as a safe outlet for aggressive behavior. After hearing both sides, one can only ask, video games, harmless or harmful?
I say what makes a person violent, and I think violence comes from exposure to violence, to the video games that people play, that kids play.
We know the difference between fantasy and reality, and the argument is that people who play violent video games are violent people. And if that's true, then the majority of people play video games, and why aren't the majority of people excessively violent?
The assumption that violent video games automatically leads to real-life violence can seem at times a bit far-fetched, because as many would say,
it's just a game.
However, what can you say about a society or a person who finds joy out of violent acts, content such as murder, abuse, and theft, as a form of entertainment? Something to think about. I'm Megan Smith with GVTV.